I'm Lynn.
And I'm Leo. Welcome to day 19
Yes.
of our 30 days of yoga.
So we're over halfway through. So for those of you who've been joining us, I hope you've enjoyed our sequencing and you've got a few days to go yet. So we're starting in Adho Mukha Virasana. So we've been starting in this pose for quite a few days now, so you should be familiar with this. If you're just coming to watch today, if you're new to the channel today, then just take a look at the video and join in. So taking the big toes together and coming forward. Remember what I was saying about this yesterday and previously, that you're going to make sure that you don't push the weight too far forward. Yeah. And if the buttocks do lift away from the heels, which is quite normal, then it's really good to actually place a foam block or whatever you have handy. You might have a bolster, cushion, pillow, whatever. So you have a direction for the back body. This is very important. So just be here. It's the start of our practice today, and just observe your breath. So soft inhalation and exhalation. Just feel the breath from the outer hip to the armpit. Just encourage that direction from the base up towards the chest. And just quieten the facial features, just get your head into your practice. Try not to have any disturbances mentally or physically. So be sure that you're in this stage and you're keeping in the zone. This is all about feeding you and your body. So, and mind, of course. So when you're in this position, you have to see that you're less distracted from all the attachments and pulls of everyday life. Coming into Adho Mukha Svanasana. So tucking your toes under and coming up. So you'll be familiar now. We're going to join these poses together. So when you come into Adho Mukha Svanasana, make sure you're keeping the weight into the back body. We've given quite a lot of instructions so far. So just be sure that you're taking on board some of those instructions and becoming aware of the base of the pose, being sure that you're weighting down into your palms and reaching into the back body. The back legs have got to be absolutely strong and straight in this pose. So pull up the kneecaps and the front thighs. Any forward bending action, you have to see it comes from the front thigh region, so that you're opening the front groins. Looking forward now. We're coming for Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Now we touched on this yesterday. So we're coming into the upward dog action. So you can see here Leo's demonstrating this action. You've got to be very strong in your arms, press down strongly, and see that the action is extending all the way through the center of the body up towards your chest. Be sure that you're not softening those knees. Keep those knees absolutely lifted. All four corners of the kneecaps are lifting through towards the thigh side. If you're able to, you can flatten your feet in this pose. If that's a little bit too strong at this stage for your back, then keep the toes tucked under. And again, broaden across the chest, the collarbones, and lift through the front body. Lovely. Tuck the toes under, and now come up for Adho Mukha Svanasana, dog head down. So again, just take a few breaths in this pose. We're not going to stay in it very long. And now looking forward and either jumping or stepping the legs towards the hands. Good. Being in Uttanasana. And as we've explained in the previous videos, if the hamstrings are really strong and tight, then it's difficult to take the hands down to the floor. We understand this. So you can see Leo's just putting the hands onto her thighs. So if you've got no yoga equipment, then you can be in this pose and extend through the front body. The main thing is that you keep this back nice and strong and straight. Otherwise, you can put your hands on the shins, a couple of yoga bricks, or even a chair. But make sure you're getting that fluid action throughout your spine and keeping the legs absolutely strong and straight. If you're able to take your hands down, then come into your classic action, wherever that may be, and let the breath become smooth and even. So eventually it becomes quite an extreme fold of the body. And at first, we're not always at that stage. Well, quite often, we're not at that stage at all. We have to just gradually unfold into this action. And now coming up out of your Uttanasana, looking forward, keeping that lift through the chest, hands onto your hips and coming up into your standing position. And just taking a few moments to absorb some of that work. It's very important that you come back to the posture, draw your abdomen deeply within, lifting your sternum chest. Soft inhalation and exhalation. Okay, so we're coming for our standing position, Virabhadrasana I. I'm standing in the center of your mat and working from the base of the pose. So coming back to the Tadasana action, taking the weight back into the heels. And now you're going to extend your arms out to the side. So reaching the arms. Now when you take the arms up for Urdhva Mukha, you've got to see that you're getting this rotation in the arms. So you're not just, lovely, you're not just twisting the wrists like that. You've got to see that the whole action becomes fluid from the root of the shoulder itself. And then taking a breath in and extending the arms up. Okay, so we're coming for Virabhadrasana I, so taking the legs nice and wide and extending through the front of the body. Soft inhalation and exhalation. Turning your back foot very well in. This is one of the main mistakes of this pose, is this back foot isn't turned enough, and then when you're expecting the hips to face forward, you end up in this position. So getting that turning action, yeah. Now sometimes, quite often, turning the whole of the front leg and foot, you need to have a little bit of support underneath the back foot. This is when you're learning and you're training the body, because by doing this, this will help this direction of the thigh, keep this direction, this turning, this turning, this turning, so that you get all of this action, the inner thigh moving back. So this is a way of working. If you find that it's really difficult to get that rotation in the thigh, in the back thigh, you can just lift the heel and extend the leg slightly. Otherwise, if you can take the leg completely down and you can get that turning, then obviously working that way without the prop. Bend your front leg. Make a square with the front leg and keep that lift through the front body. Go on lifting from the base of the abdomen up. Looking forward, see the arms are really active and extended. Soft inhalation and exhalation. Now, to come up, you have to see that you draw the abdomen towards the spine, straighten the legs, pull up strongly with the kneecaps, and come into your base pose again. Okay, so turning towards your left thigh, turning left towards the left side. And go and see that you turn the whole of the front leg and foot. Go and get that action, rotation, rotation. So I'm just going to show again here this action. So you're going to see that you just place a small prop underneath the heel. Now this is not necessary if you can get this rotation with the leg, but this helps to train the body so that you get the correct alignment and symmetry. Keep the arms extending up and bend your front leg. Always see that you lift through the front body. Soft inhalation and exhalation. Try to make that angle with the front leg even more so that left thigh becomes a square. You've got to try to make that happen eventually. And to come out of the pose again, you've got to draw the abdomen towards your spine side and then coming up, turning the feet to face forward. Good. And then releasing the arms as you come into a standing position, and just stand in your Tadasana. Roll your shoulders back and down and be in this pose, just quite in the breath. Just working from the base, taking the weight back into your heels and seeing that you activate that lift out of your pelvis. Broadening across the collarbones. Let the facial features become soft and the eyes move deeply within, so you're not focusing on anything in particular. You're just taking your awareness deeply within. back down to the floor work now. So we're coming for a pose called Chatushpadasana. And this can be very challenging at the beginning. We're going to show you a modified version of Chatushpadasana. And we're going to show this so that you understand the lift in the body. So you can see that Leo's lying in a supine action and she's got a belt ready around the shins. Now it may be that you can hold the front of the shins, and we'll show you in a moment. Oh yes, Leo's just showing you that now. Okay, so it's a nice pose to strengthen the back muscles, and of course this prepares the body again for more extreme actions, and eventually when you come into your inversions, it's a great pose to do. The main thing that we're trying to get is as much lift as possible in this pose, and this is why we've used this belt, because as beginners it's quite challenging to hold on to the front of the ankles. Take a breath in and slowly lift up, lift up, lift up. Now when you lift up, to get more lift in the pelvis, you've got to move these arms deeply in. So you can see here that Leo's just modifying that a little and moving those upper arms in towards one another. You can see there's a better lift here. So you've got to lift this lower back region, lift, 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 so that the chest moves strongly towards the chin. So this is the action. Now, if you're able, if you're one of those students who's got lots of flexibility and mobility and you're able to hold those shins, then you can hold the shins from the very beginning and get that lift. You can see here. This gives a slightly deeper connection. But if you find you can't get the lift, or there's not a comfortable action in the back, then it's better to go with the belt and use the prop so that you can build up to holding the front of the shins. I know for my body it took me a long time to actually hold the shins because the body proportions, if you've got short arms, then you have to build up to it. And then when you release down, you've got to see that you lengthen the tailbone towards the end of the mat. So you really lengthen the back of the pelvis so that there's a length as you come back into your supine action. And you can practice Chatushpadasana several times. You can come up and release down. Remember the arm work though, because we are starting to encourage this action in preparation for Virabhadrasana. Okay, this is coming towards the end of our sequence. So coming up, we're coming for Adho Mukha Virasana now. So how we started the action. So big toes together, taking the thighs a little apart and reaching forward. So we're just going to softly counterbalance that last pose. So extending, yes, lengthening out the back and reaching back with the back of the pelvis so you're creating a nice opening in your lower back and rest the head. Just take a few deeper, longer inhalations. You need to stay in this pose a little longer, then do so. We're going to come out of Adho Mukha Virasana now, because this is coming to the end of our sequencing. So coming for the Sukhasana action and just sitting quietly for a few moments. Thank you for watching our video today.
We hope you enjoyed it. We're really working through a lot of these sequences now, coming towards the final third of your 30 days of yoga. So keep with it. I know this is the hardest part when you get to this stage. So stick with it, and you will find at the end of the 30 days, hopefully, a change both in your body and in your approach to life. So if you're enjoying this, please do subscribe, like the video if you're enjoying doing them with us. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow.